Hello, in this video, we are going to look at an example of applying probability rules in a context where you're told many probabilities, but you'll need to do a little algebra to find the probability we're ultimately looking for. When working on questions that require rules of probability, I find it a very good practice to have all the rules listed out in front of you. I think of this as the toolbox, so always have your toolbox out and ready. It is approximated that 27% of the world's countries have Muslim as their main religion. 2% of the world's countries both have Muslim as their main religion and are European countries. 50% of the world's countries either had Muslim as their main religion or are European countries. So if we were to choose a country at random, what is the probability it is not a European country? Not is the complement rule. Let's give some letters to abbreviate this, because I don't want to write out the whole word Muslim many times, and I don't want to write out the whole word European many times. So let's come up with an abbreviation. Let M represent a Muslim country. And then let's let E represent a European country. All right, now we can begin to translate this question that's in full English sentences into our mathematical notation for probability. So the goal, what we're really trying to do, is answer this question. Probability, it's not European. So complement of European. We want to find probability of E complement. Okay, so we're going to need this complement rule at some point. Do I know what the probability of it being European is? No, I don't. I just have lots of information about how that relates to being Muslim. So looks like we'll have to use all these other facts. Let's translate them into our mathematical notation as well. So 27% has Muslim as their main religion. So P of M equals, it's a good habit to express your percentages as proportions when working in probability formulas. So 0.27. 2% of the world's countries have both Muslim as their main religion and we're European countries. So that's the overlap. The overlap is our idea of intersection. So I'll use the word and, right? In intersection, they've got that keyword and. We see the keyword and there in the question. So probability of Muslim and European equals 2%. I don't want to say 20%, so make sure you get that other zero there. And lastly, 50% of the world's countries had either had Muslim as their main religion or European countries. That buzzword or is the one related to unions. So that one's going to be a union. Muslim or European equals 50%, so 0.5. We've translated all of our facts into probability notation and found that we need to find probability of E complement. We're given these probabilities, so take a look at our toolbox. Which equation makes use of these? We aren't given any conditional probabilities, so those are out of the way. This one needs a conditional probability, and we weren't given any conditional probabilities, so that's out of the way. There's nothing to say that these things are independent, so that one's out of our toolbox. It looks like the union equation has the majority of the things we're given. So we'll start with that one. Then we'll find the complement to get our final answer. Probability, we're not using A's and B's anymore, we're using M's and E's. So probability of M or E equals probability of M plus probability of E minus probability of M and E. Let's plug in all of the facts we know. Our first fact is probability of M. It's going to go right here. The second fact, M and E. That'll go over here. Just matching them up. And then our last one is the or. So that'll go over here. That's where the equals goes. Plus drops right down. Minus drops right down. And we can see we're missing P of E. That's the X we're going to solve for. You probably had a lot of experience in algebra class solving for X. That's our unknown variable that we're hoping to find. However, I'm a statistician and I like using more descriptive variables. So I'm going to continue to use the name P of E. So I never lose track of what I'm actually solving for. To solve for P of E, we need to isolate it and undo anything that's been done to P of E. I see 2% has been subtracted from P of E, so I'll add that back on to both sides of the equation to maintain balance. Okay. This has now been canceled out. There's still something remaining, that 0.27. It's been added, so we'll subtract it. Both sides to keep things balanced. And then that has been canceled away. And we've got our answer. The probability that it is a European country is 25%, and that's halfway to our goal. Now we'll use the complement rule to reach our goal. Probability of E complement equals 1 minus probability of E. Plugging in the facts we know, 25% is probability of E. Copy down everything else. 1 minus 25% is 75%. We found probability of E complement is 0.75. However, story problems get story answers. So let's express this in a full sentence. If I were to choose a country of the world at random, there is a 75% chance it will not be a European country. I hope this helped you understand rules of probability a little better and gave you some practice applying them. Happy studies!